We would like to welcome you to the Children's Hospital at St. Francis annual Remembrance Ceremony. We gather today to honor and remember your children, to celebrate the lives they lived, to say their names aloud, and to light a candle in their memory to remind us that their light still shines. We come here today to also honor you, their families and friends. Each life, no matter how brief, forever changes the world. Leo Buscaglia said, "I know for certain that we never lose the people we love, even to death. Their love leaves an indelible imprint in our memories. We find comfort in knowing that our lives have been enriched by sharing their love." Grief is like a ball in a box. Imagine your life is the box, and grief is a very large ball in that box. In that box is also a button that causes immense pain. In the beginning, the grief ball is very large and hits the pain button often as it rattles around in the box. You cannot control the movement of the ball or how often it hits the button. Sometimes it feels overwhelming and unrelenting. As time goes on, the ball gets smaller and hits the button less frequently, but sometimes when you least expect it. Although it does not hurt any less, it is a little easier to recover over time. Neuroscientist Dr. Caroline Leaf reminds us that grief is a cyclical process, not a straight line, and you are not alone. Mourning is one of the most profound human experiences that is possible to have. The deep capacity to weep for the loss of a loved one and to continue to treasure the memory of that loss is one of our noblest human traits. We are here today to share, to honor, and to remember. Thank you for joining us.
God our Father, we thank you for calling us together this day to celebrate the life of special children whom you have taken to yourself. We thank you for the short life that you granted to them, so they could live with you forever, enjoying your heavenly kingdom. We rejoice with them in the joy that is theirs, even as we still miss them. We ask your comfort, dear Father, because as you know, this celebration is also one of sadness for the loss that is ours. Be with all here present. Strengthen us, encourage us, assure us of your everlasting love for us. Your Son, Jesus, called for children to be one with him. Surely these loved ones, whose lives we celebrate today, are now sharing in his tender love, embraced by him for all eternity. We ask your blessing, Father, upon the mothers, the fathers, the brothers and sisters of the special children who are now one with your love. We thank you again, dear Father, for allowing us to share in this special life, and ask that we may all one day be one with these children with you in your heavenly kingdom forever. Amen.
As long as we live, you too shall live, for you are a part of us as we remember you. In the rising of the sun and its going down, we remember you. In the blowing of the wind and the chill of the winter, we remember you. In the opening of the buds and the rebirth of spring, we remember you. In the blueness of the sky and in the warmth of summer, we remember you. In the rustling of the leaves and in the beauty of autumn, we remember you. In the beginning of the year and when it ends, we remember you. When we are weary and in need of strength, we remember you. When we are lost and sick at heart, we remember you. When we have joys we yearn to share, we remember you. So as long as we live, you too shall live, for you are a part of us, and we will always remember you. After each invocation, please respond by saying, "We remember you and thank God for you." For the physicians, nurses, and hospital staff who extended healing hands, hearts, and love to the children and families, we remember you and thank God for you. For the countless friends, clergy, and church families, acquaintances, and even strangers who prayed many prayers and extended love and help to the children and their families, we remember you and thank God for you. For the parents and families who mourn and who stood beside their child every step of the way with a strength that goes beyond human understanding. We remember you and thank God for you. For the children we honor this day, who were our heroes, showing us how to live our lives with arms open wide, in courage and in trust. We remember you and thank God for you.
Not even when the sun shines through your hands, or when the waves roll to the middle, not even when the shadows pass you by, will I forget your love. Not even when the dance is without steps, or when your nails pierce the glass, not even when the fire ignites the ice, will I forget your love. Maybe the grass is green, greener than it used to be. Maybe the rain is gone, gone from the clouds. Maybe the bells have rung from the temple. Maybe. Not even when the stars go around the moon, or when the year ends in June, not even when the water drinks the soil, will I forget your love. Maybe the grass is green, greener than it used to be. Maybe the rain is gone, gone from the clouds. Maybe the bells have rung from the temple. Maybe. Not even when the wind blows hands of stone, or when your tears turn to blood, not even when your life has perished, will I forget your love. Maybe the grass is green, greener than it used to be. Maybe the rain is gone, gone from the clouds. Maybe the bells have rung from the temple. Maybe.
Hello, my name is Dr. Bart Ryder, Medical Director for St. Francis Hospice. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of this remembrance ceremony and the opportunity to share a few thoughts and stories with you. Some of you I've had the pleasure of meeting, and what you may or may not know is that hospice is a community of people who have come together for one common goal, and that's take care of our patients and their families during their most vulnerable time of their lives. I constantly remind my coworkers that hospice is not a path most choose, but are called into. The things you see us do on a regular basis, such as talking about medications, providing education on maybe how best to change a bandage, or even flush a tube, is just the tip of the iceberg. One of our tasks is coming together as a team every other week, what we call an interdisciplinary group meeting, consisting of myself, the nurses, social work, and chaplains, to discuss the changes that we've seen in our patients since our last meeting. This can include physical changes, emotional changes, and even spiritual changes. And then we come up with the best plan possible to meet the needs of our patients and their families. It's also a time where we can let our hair down and tell stories. It's a time where we can laugh about maybe something cute or funny said during a visit. It's a time where we can share a picture that was either drawn or colored specifically for their nurse. It's also a time where tears are shed when no one else is around but our hospice family, as the journey draws close and the thoughts of losing a treasured soul we've grown close to. I'm reminded of a particular time when I was scheduled to go see a very lovely, very strong-willed 5-year-old who we had on service. Her mother had asked before I came out if I could actually take a look in her ear to make sure she didn't have an ear infection, as she'd complained of pain a few days before. When I got to the house, she had just received a new dollhouse and promptly informed me that before I could take a look in her ear, that we were going to play dolls first. Knowing that it's difficult to bargain with a 5-year-old, I got down on the floor, and after 5 to 10 minutes of playtime, I was actually able to complete my exam and reassure her mother that she didn't have an ear infection. As I was leaving the home, I thought to myself, I'm the luckiest physician on earth. I mean, how many doctors actually get to play dolls with their patients? It was at that time, as with many others, I realized that it was me who benefited the most out of that house call. Probably the most common question I'm asked is, am I doing things right? Or should I be doing something different? My answer is always the same. The fact that your loved one is comfortable, feels safe, and surrounded by family. You've done everything right, and you can do nothing wrong. There's a saying that the art of medicine is to cure sometimes, relieve often, and care always. Thank you for your time, and know that my continued thoughts and prayers are with each and every one of you.
Some days. They tell me life's a journey that will take me many years. Some days are filled with laughter, and some days are filled with tears. Some days I think my heart will break, that I can't persevere. Some days I have to don a mask and hide beneath its veneer. Some days I turn and look for you with thoughts I'd like to share. Some days I just can't understand the reason you're not here. Some days the sadness leaves me and my smile will reappear. Some days I close my eyes because your memory is so clear. Some days I struggle to go on just wishing you were near. Most days I spend in gratitude that you were ever here.
Hello, my name is Brian Goodrich. I was a nurse in the pediatric ICU here at St. Francis for 5 or 6 years. The past 2 years, I've been working as a nurse practitioner in pediatric neurosurgery. I first became a nurse because I wanted hands-on practical skills to be able to help people. In school, I discovered that I really enjoyed the mix of science, critical thinking, and compassion that was a part of nursing. When I graduated nursing school, I began working in the pediatric ICU because of the many opportunities they had for me to continue to learn and challenge myself. But I had no idea what I was getting myself into. PICU did provide me with those countless opportunities to learn, but the experience of walking through the darkest days with kids and their families has changed me forever. Being with families and children as they struggle, suffer, sometimes are healed and sometimes die, has been the greatest honor of my life. It is a sacred space, and I have deep respect for those who have walked that path. These experiences have driven me to struggle with God about the impossible questions, like where is He, and what are His plans in such difficult circumstances. I have found few answers, but I have found some truths, namely that He is God and He is with us. As nurses and doctors and medical providers, we stand with you in your grief. From the small grief of any child who is sick to the overwhelming grief of chronic illness, pain, and death. We have devoted our careers and our work lives to you and your children because our hearts believe that this is not the way it is supposed to be. We want to work with God in bringing about restoration. Even though you may or may not have seen it, we cry for you and your kids. We celebrate the small and big victories. We think about your kids once they've left our hospital rooms. We talk about them in the break room. We smile and laugh, remembering how their personalities shined through despite their struggles. We feel shocked and speechless when remembering the tragedies. We do not forget your children. We remember them. God remembers them. Thank you.
Elizabeth Edwards said in her book, "If you know someone who has lost a child or anyone that's important to them, and you are afraid to mention them because you think you might make them sad by reminding them that they died, they didn't forget that they died. You're not reminding them. What you're reminding them of is that you remember that they lived, and that is a great, great gift." We will be reading each of your children's names and lighting a candle as a reminder of the gift of their life to the world, and that their lights continue to shine here in the memories we hold of them, and in heaven where we will see them again.
Emily Berry. Colton Carter. David Cox. Gavin Cuthill. Jasmine Edwards. Kanan Hankins. Cash Tyler Herman. Leah Danielle McDaniel. Madeline Maddie Kate Moreland. Evan Mutisbaugh. Scarlett Prater. Luther Rhodes. Peyton Jane Louise Rogers. Luis de la Rosa. Elena Stepp. Isabella Izzy Faith Thomas. Grady Wall.
Son, I can't hear a sound in her hand. in mine. Upon the pages where butterflies dance, lead me to love divine. Here, when I cannot feel, heal when I cannot feel. Let it all out. This love we share is still here, and I can feel you now, here with me, leading me to my grateful heart. I trust I will understand my heart. It's in your hand. I don't know where the story goes, but you know. Here, when I cannot feel, heal when I cannot let it all out. This love we share is still here, and I can feel you now, here with me, leading me. I let it all out. This love we share is still here, and I can feel you now, here with me, and leading me with your grateful heart.
Thank you for joining us today. We recognize all you have done in love for your children and with your children. You have touched us in ways we could not express, showing us that love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Your children did not only give wonderful love, they received it. And we, the staff, know that you have taught us about real love and changed us as people. We are grateful to not only have known your children, but to know you. If you find yourself in need of additional resources to support your grief today, we encourage you to reach out to the Child Life Department.